world without borders, a horizon that stretches endlessly, far beyond what the human eye can reach, a place where limits dissolve and where the known meets the unknown. This is the ocean. A colossal force of nature, so vast that it blankets more than 70% of Earth's surface. And yet, despite its sheer size and constant presence, it remains one of the least explored, least understood, and most mysterious elements of our planet. We look at it every day, from shores, planes, ships, but its greatest stories lie hidden beneath the surface. Within its deep and powerful waters, the ocean holds secrets older than mountains, mysteries born billions of years ago. It is the cradle of life, the original womb from which every living organism once emerged. It is not just a vast body of water, it is a living, breathing system that connects us all. It is home to a universe of creatures we still haven't fully discovered, from the largest animals ever to exist on Earth to the tiniest life forms, fragile and invisible to the naked eye. Its ecosystems are more diverse than any rainforest, more ancient than any desert. Every drop of seawater carries stories of evolution, survival, and change. It holds scientific truths, spiritual wonder, and aesthetic beauty that defies imagination. The ocean regulates the climate, shapes the continents, drives weather systems, and sustains all life on Earth, even those living thousands of miles away from any coast. Its currents, though invisible to us, act as arteries of the planet, transporting heat, nutrients, and energy. They carry hope, too, as millions of species depend on their predictable rhythm for survival. Its depths, some darker and more hostile than outer space, are home to alien-like creatures that glow in the blackness and withstand pressures that would crush any human-built machine. And yet, despite its immensity and importance, we know less about the deep ocean than we do about the surface of the moon. Today we invite you on a journey, a voyage to explore Earth's 5 great oceans: the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, the Southern, Antarctic, and the Arctic. We'll travel from coral reefs bursting with life to abyssal plains where no light ever shines, from frozen seas to tropical sanctuaries, from the origins of ancient life to the cutting edge of modern marine science. We'll discover the creatures that depend on the ocean, the currents that move across hemispheres, and the stories written in water over millions of years. But this is not just a celebration, it is also a warning, a reflection on how human activity is altering the fate of the seas. Pollution, overfishing, rising temperatures, and plastic waste are changing the ocean in real time. And as the oceans change, so does everything else. Because in the end, the oceans are not out there, distant or detached. They are within us. They are the breath we take, the food we eat, the rain that falls. They are part of our story, past, present, and future. This is the ocean, and its story is our own. We begin our journey with the Pacific Ocean, the largest and deepest of all Earth's oceans. Covering more than 168 million square kilometers, it spans nearly 1/3 of the planet's surface. It is so vast that it could fit all the continents combined and still have space to spread. From the towering cliffs of the American Pacific coast to the ancient shores of Asia, from Australia's sun-drenched beaches to the countless scattered islands of Oceania, the Pacific touches every continent except Europe and Antarctica. It is the true oceanic giant, a realm where reality often feels like myth, a place where the power of nature is displayed on the grandest scale. Beneath its shimmering surface lies a world more mysterious than any legend. Mountain ranges taller than Everest, trenches deeper than the Grand Canyon, and creatures more bizarre than fiction. The Mariana Trench, for example, is the deepest known point on Earth, plunging nearly 11,000 meters beneath the sea. It's a place so extreme that its pressure would crush steel, and yet life persists there in strange and luminous forms. It is a world as alien as outer space, and just as unexplored. Encircling much of the Pacific is the infamous Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped zone where tectonic plates collide. Here volcanoes erupt, earthquakes shake the seabed, and tsunamis are born. Sudden powerful waves that can travel across oceans and reshape entire coastlines. But this natural violence also creates. When magma rises from beneath the Earth's crust, new islands are born, rising from the ocean like ancient titans, offering untouched land where life takes root. This endless cycle of destruction and rebirth is part of what makes the Pacific so extraordinary. It is not a static place. It moves, it breathes, it transforms. Scattered like emeralds on a sapphire sea, the Pacific contains more than 25,000 islands. Some, like New Guinea, New Zealand and Japan, are vast and mountainous. Others, like the delicate atolls of Tuvalu, are fragile strips of sand barely rising above the waves. Many of these islands are home to ancient cultures that have thrived in harmony with the sea for thousands of years. Long before compasses and maps, Polynesian navigators crossed the Pacific using only the stars, the swells of the sea, the winds, and the flight paths of birds. They built boats from trees, read the clouds like scripture, and carved out entire civilizations in isolation. To this day, the rhythms of the ocean shape their myths, ceremonies, and daily life. The sea is not only their provider, it is their ancestor, their god, their path forward. But perhaps the Pacific's most astonishing feature is not its size or even its power. It is the sheer diversity of life it supports. From plankton drifting on surface currents to the blue whale, the largest animal to ever live, the Pacific is alive with movement, color, sound, and song. Here in this boundless expanse, the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Creatures of light roam the dark, mountains lie beneath waves, and the heart of Earth beats through deep water. This is the Pacific. And now we meet its greatest giant. The blue whale, a being so massive it defies imagination. In the vast blue heart of the Pacific swims a creature so immense, so magnificent that it defies belief. The blue whale, the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth. Larger than any known dinosaur, heavier than even the largest land mammal, this gentle colossus can grow up to 30 meters long and weigh over 180 tons. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant. Its heart is the size of a small car, beating slowly and steadily, pumping blood through arteries so wide a child could crawl through them. It is a creature born of stillness and scale, and yet, despite its monumentality, it is a being of grace, mystery, and surprising fragility. The blue whale's lungs can hold up to 5,000 liters of air. With a single breath, it exchanges nearly 90% of the oxygen in its body, an astonishing efficiency unmatched in the animal kingdom. Its spout can reach 9 meters into the air, a visible exhale from the depths of existence. But perhaps most surprising is its diet. This leviathan, this ocean titan, survives on the smallest of prey krill. Tiny shrimp-like crustaceans, no larger than a paperclip, and yet it can consume up to 4 tons of krill in a single day. It does this using baleen plates, bristle-like filters in its mouth that allow it to scoop in massive gulps of water, trap the krill, and expel the rest. Each feeding lunge is a finely tuned ballet of timing, power, and precision. During the summer months, blue whales feast in the krill-rich waters of the Pacific, off the coast of California, in the Antarctic seas, or near the southern reaches of Chile and New Zealand. But when winter comes, something incredible happens. They migrate thousands of kilometers to warmer tropical waters where they give birth to the next generation. Their calves, already 7 meters long at birth and weighing around 3 tons, nurse on rich, fatty milk, consuming nearly 400 liters a day. This milk fuels rapid growth, thickens their blubber, and strengthens them for the vast migrations ahead. For the blue whale, everything is scaled to epic proportions: its breath, its heart, its hunger, and even its solitude. Though generally solitary, blue whales communicate over vast distances using low-frequency vocalizations that can travel through the ocean for hundreds, even thousands of kilometers. These deep, resonant calls are more than just noise. They are a kind of sonic map, guiding them across the open ocean. Some believe these calls contain navigation cues, others believe they're expressions of identity, like a song or a name, echoing through the vast, dark sea. But if the blue whale is the Pacific's heartbeat, then the dolphin is its dance. Agile, social, intelligent, dolphins bring an entirely different energy to the ocean. They are the swift architects of motion, the chatterers, the players, the thinkers of the sea. With streamlined bodies and incredible speed, dolphins can travel up to 50 kilometers per hour, twisting and spinning through waves with astonishing grace. And within their sleek forms lies one of the most complex and captivating minds in the animal world. Where the blue whale is a symbol of immensity, the dolphin is a symbol of intelligence in motion. It is one of the ocean's most beloved residents, not just for its playful leaps above the waves, but for what it represents beneath them. Connection, strategy, and an almost eerie level of self-awareness. With streamlined torpedo-shaped bodies, dolphins are built for speed and agility. They can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, using powerful tails and precise muscle control to glide, dive, and leap. They measure up to 4 meters in length, with firm, elongated snouts filled with rows of sharp, aligned teeth. Perfect tools for catching slippery fish and squid, their main diet. But behind that aerodynamic form lies something far more impressive: a highly developed brain. Relative to body size, the dolphin has one of the largest brains in the animal kingdom, comparable in complexity to that of great apes and even humans. And it puts that brain to astonishing use. Dolphins are strategists, capable of learning, problem-solving, and coordinating hunts with military precision. In the wild, they form highly organized groups, sometimes called pods, and cooperate to corner schools of fish. They will surround, confuse, and isolate their prey, creating bubble nets to trap fish in mid-water. Each dolphin knows its role, attacking from different angles or waiting to ambush from below. This coordination requires constant communication, and dolphins have developed one of the most complex vocal repertoires in the animal world. They emit clicks that act as sonar, bouncing sound off objects to see through the dark water. This echolocation helps them navigate and hunt, even in murky or deep environments where vision fails. They also produce whistles, which are not just random sounds. Each dolphin has a unique whistle, a sort of name, allowing them to call out to specific individuals, maintain group cohesion, and strengthen social bonds. These rich and varied sounds form a kind of language that scientists are only beginning to decode, a language of emotion, identity, and possibly memory. Dolphins are not just hunters. They are nurturers, explorers, and teachers. They display signs of empathy, grief, and even humor. They play games, teach their young, and have been observed helping injured companions. They are, in every sense, citizens of the sea, fully aware of their surroundings, of one another, and perhaps even of themselves. Their travels take them across vast swathes of the ocean, from warm coastal waters to temperate open seas. They seek out reefs, bays, and strong currents, each environment offering new challenges, new prey, and new chances for discovery. But beneath the waves, another tiny creature reveals an entirely different kind of intelligence, one not built on brain power, but on perfect adaptation. Among the coral gardens of the Pacific, the clownfish makes its home. A mere 10 to 18 centimeters in length, the clownfish is a burst of bright orange, adorned with white stripes edged in black, a walking warning sign, and yet one of the most charming and iconic fish of the reef. Its agility allows it to weave effortlessly among the tentacles of the sea anemone, a creature whose stings would kill most other fish, but not the clownfish. Thanks to a special mucus coating, it is immune to the anemone's venom, and this immunity forms the basis of one of the most extraordinary partnerships in nature. In the vibrant coral reefs of the Pacific, the clownfish lives not just in a home, but within a living fortress. Its chosen sanctuary, the sea anemone, is both shelter and shield. Its venomous tentacles ward off predators, while the clownfish, protected by a unique mucus layer, swims freely among them, unharmed. To most sea creatures, an anemone is a death sentence. To the clownfish, it is a lifelong partner. This bond is one of the most fascinating examples of symbiosis found in nature, a perfect balance of give and take. The anemone offers protection. In return, the clownfish defends it from intruding species and helps keep it clean by eating parasites and leftover food particles. This unlikely friendship reveals the depths of natural cooperation, evolved over millions of years in the competitive world of coral reef life. Despite its small size, usually between 10 and 18 centimeters, the clownfish is a bold and territorial creature, known for its confidence and striking colors. Its vivid orange body, accented with bright white bands outlined in black, acts as both camouflage among the coral and a visual warning to potential predators. Its fins are nimble and responsive, allowing it to dart through the complex structures of the reef with remarkable speed and control. The clownfish's life, however, is more than a story of clever survival. It is also one of social complexity. Each sea anemone typically hosts a tiny colony of clownfish, structured by a strict matriarchal hierarchy. At the top is the dominant female, larger, more aggressive, and in charge of the group. Below her is the reproductive male, followed by a few non-breeding males. But here's where nature bends the rules. If the dominant female dies, the breeding male undergoes a biological transformation. He becomes female, taking over her role, while the next in line steps up to become the new breeder. This ability to change sex, known as sequential hermaphroditism, is extremely rare in the animal kingdom and gives clownfish colonies an adaptive advantage in tight reef environments where mates are scarce. It's a vivid reminder that survival is not just about strength or speed, it's about flexibility, balance, and deep connection to the ecosystem. Clownfish are also opportunistic feeders, thriving on whatever the reef provides. They consume tiny crustaceans, algae, and leftovers from other marine creatures, a versatile diet that sustains both them and their host anemones. Together they form a micro-world of activity, nestled within the reef's broader symphony of life. From towering coral structures to tiny crevices, every inch of the Pacific Reef teems with color, sound, and movement. It's a place where creatures glow, camouflage, collaborate, and clash, all within a few square meters. And yet, as we zoom out from these intimate relationships, we find that the Pacific, with all its warmth and diversity, is only one face of the ocean's reality. As we travel further south, the turquoise waters begin to darken. The air cools, the wind shifts. We approach a realm where the blue of the ocean meets the white of the ice, a place of extremes, of silence, of endurance. This is the beginning of our descent into the Atlantic Ocean, a world where the sea is shaped by cold, by darkness, and by an entirely different kind of beauty. The Atlantic Ocean is not the largest, it is not the deepest, and yet it is perhaps the most influential, stretching over 106 million square kilometers. It is a vast, pulsing force that connects continents, shapes civilizations, and breathes life into two hemispheres. To the west, the Americas. To the east, Europe and Africa. It is a bridge, a boundary, and a beating heart between worlds. The Atlantic is a fluid highway, one that has carried ships, stories, people, animals, and ideas for thousands of years. It has been the setting of human ambition, migration, conquest, and commerce. From the voyages of ancient explorers to the grim history of the transatlantic slave trade, the Atlantic has borne the full weight of human history upon its waves, but its power runs deeper than politics or maps. This is an ocean of motion. Its vast system of currents, including the mighty Gulf Stream, transports warm water from the tropics to the northern latitudes, warming the coast of Europe and steering storms across the Atlantic basin. Without these invisible rivers, much of the planet would be uninhabitable. These currents don't just shape weather, they shape life. They carry plankton, spawn, larvae, nutrients. They create breeding grounds and feeding zones. They determine where coral reefs thrive and where kelp forests grow. They are the ocean's circulatory system, and the Atlantic is its central artery. But just beneath its surface lies a different kind of traveler, one that has been riding these currents for millions of years. She is slow, ancient, and silent, a creature that lives longer than most trees and migrates farther than most birds. This is the green sea turtle, the Atlantic's wandering spirit. She emerges from the sand as if pulled by the stars. Beneath the glow of the moon, hundreds of tiny hatchlings claw their way out of their nest. Their instinct is clear, unwavering: reach the ocean. This is how the life of a green sea turtle begins. Not in the water, but in the silence of a sandy beach. Vulnerable, exposed, and no bigger than a human hand, these newborn turtles race toward the surf, guided by the faint shimmer of moonlight reflecting on the waves. For every 1,000 that begin this journey, only a handful survive, but for those that do, the Atlantic Ocean becomes their universe. Once they reach the sea, they disappear into what scientists call the lost years, a mysterious period when the turtles vanish into the open ocean, following vast currents, feeding on jellyfish, plankton, and algae as they drift with the tides. Over time they grow, their shells harden, their limbs strengthen, and they begin to roam. From the Gulf of Mexico to the coast of West Africa, from the Sargasso Sea to the shores of Brazil, the green sea turtle becomes a mariner of the deep, navigating thousands of kilometers across the Atlantic. This species can live for 80 years or more, and may take 20 to 30 years to reach full maturity. But when the time comes, they do something astonishing. Guided by an internal compass that science still cannot fully explain, they return, often to the exact beach where they were born, to lay their own eggs. The females, heavy with life, heave themselves ashore under cover of night. With slow, deliberate effort, they dig a nest in the sand, deposit their clutch of eggs, and then vanish back into the sea. It is a ritual repeated for millions of years, uninterrupted by time, untouched by human invention. But the green sea turtle is more than just a creature of instinct. It is an essential part of the Atlantic's marine ecosystem. By grazing on seagrass, it keeps seagrass beds healthy, allowing other species to thrive. It fertilizes the ocean floor and contributes to nutrient cycles that benefit countless marine organisms. Yet today, the green sea turtle faces growing threats. From plastic pollution mistaken for jellyfish, to entanglement in fishing gear, to coastal development that erases its ancient nesting sites. Still, it endures. It swims. It returns. A traveler of mystery and memory, the green sea turtle is a symbol of resilience. A reminder that nature's cycles are deep and sacred and worth protecting. But it is not alone in this silent pilgrimage. Beneath the waves, another force glides, more feared, more misunderstood, yet no less important, a shadow with teeth. This is the great white shark, the Atlantic's watchful ghost. It arrives without warning, a shadow beneath the surface, a ripple, a flicker, and then silence. The great white shark does not roar, it does not glow, it waits. With a body shaped by millions of years of evolution, the great white is the Atlantic's most misunderstood predator, feared, mythologized, and often demonized. But in truth, it is not a mindless killer, it is a master of precision, a creature of instinct, strategy, and balance. Reaching lengths of up to 6 meters and weighing more than 2 tons, the great white moves with stealth and control. Its torpedo-shaped body glides through the water with minimal effort, conserving energy for the perfect moment. And when that moment comes, it explodes into motion, reaching speeds over 50 kilometers per h in a single burst. But what makes the great white truly remarkable is not its speed, it's its senses. It can detect the electrical impulses of living animals, the beating of a heart, the twitch of a muscle from meters away. Its vision, finely tuned for contrast, is adapted to the dim blue of the deep. Its olfactory system is so refined that it can sense a single drop of blood in tens of thousands of liters of water. This is not a brute, this is a hunter, evolved, efficient, and in perfect alignment with its world. Its prey includes seals, sea lions, large fish, and even at times whales, but it does not eat recklessly. Each attack is calculated. A test, an observation, often a single bite to assess. Most of the time it swims away. Despite their reputation, humans are not on the menu. In the Atlantic, great whites roam vast migratory paths. From the cold waters of Nova Scotia to the temperate coasts of South Africa, from the Azores to the coast of Brazil, their range is immense and their movements are only just beginning to be understood. They do not stay long in one place. They follow prey, temperature shifts, and ancient patterns written into the sea. And like the sea turtles they share space with, they too are in danger. Hunted for their fins, caught in commercial fishing lines, pushed away from their habitats by warming seas. It floats like a dream, shimmering, translucent, delicate, as if spun from glass and light. But beneath its beauty lies one of the most dangerous drifters in the Atlantic. This is the Portuguese man-of-war, a creature so strange it defies classification. Often mistaken for a jellyfish, the man-of-war is actually a colonial organism made up of 4 distinct parts, each a specialized individual working together as one. The first is the gas-filled bladder, a brilliant blue or violet sail that allows it to drift with the wind across the ocean's surface. The second is the tentacle system, which trails as far as 30 meters below, armed with thousands of stinging cells capable of paralyzing small fish and delivering agonizing pain to unsuspecting swimmers. The third and fourth units handle digestion and reproduction, turning each captured prey into nutrients that sustain the entire colony. It is not a single being, but a floating society. Carried by currents and winds, the man-of-war drifts silently across the Atlantic, from the warm waters of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico to the subtropical coastlines of Portugal, West Africa, and even southern Britain. It has no brain, no heart, no fins or eyes, and yet it hunts, feeds, and reproduces with eerie coordination. It is a creature of paradoxes, fragile yet deadly, mindless yet organized, invisible beneath the waves, and yet sometimes scattered across entire beaches after a storm. For most fish, even a single brush with its tentacles is fatal. For humans, the sting can cause intense pain, breathing difficulty, and in rare cases, death. But for some species, like the tiny man-of-war fish, these venomous tentacles are home. They dart among them unharmed, feeding on leftover scraps and hiding from predators in the one place no one dares follow. The Portuguese man-of-war is a reminder that beauty in nature often comes with danger, and that even the most passive-looking beings can carry power beyond measure. The Indian Ocean is a sea of contrasts, a body of water both ancient and alive, where sunlight runs deep and cultures have flourished for thousands of years along its coasts. Covering around 70 million square kilometers, it is the third largest ocean in the world. But in terms of human connection, it might be the most intimate. Bound by Africa to the west, Asia to the north, Australia to the east, and blending into the Southern Ocean to the south, the Indian Ocean touches some of the most densely populated regions on Earth. Its waters are warmer than any other ocean, making it a cradle of biodiversity, coral reefs, and tropical life. But what truly defines the Indian Ocean is its rhythm. Unlike other oceans driven by year-round currents, the Indian Ocean follows a seasonal heartbeat, the monsoon winds. For half the year, the winds blow from the southwest, and the ocean responds, sending currents from Africa toward India and Southeast Asia. Then, as the seasons shift, so does the ocean. Currents reverse, winds change direction, a cycle that has shaped trade, migration, weather patterns, and marine life for millennia. Ancient seafarers understood this rhythm. The people of the Swahili coast, Arab traders, Indian merchants, all rode the monsoon, turning the Indian Ocean into a blue highway of exchange. But below these economic histories, the Indian Ocean harbors its own living legends. Its coral reefs, especially along the Maldives, Seychelles, and the coasts of Indonesia, are some of the most vibrant in the world, sheltering thousands of species of fish, crustaceans, mollusks, and marine mammals. Among these waters swims a giant, graceful, gentle, vast. This is the whale shark, the largest fish in the world and a quiet icon of the Indian Ocean's warm, life-giving embrace. In the warm turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean swims a creature so immense it could eclipse a boat, and yet it moves with the silence of a passing cloud. This is the whale shark, the largest fish on Earth, reaching lengths of up to 12 meters, and with some legends claiming even 18, the whale shark appears fearsome at first glance, a mouth over a meter wide, a broad, powerful tail, a constellation of white spots against a deep blue-grey body. But despite its size, the whale shark is no predator. It is a filter feeder, a gentle giant gliding through the water with its mouth agape, drawing in thousands of liters of seawater every hour. From this, it extracts some of the ocean's smallest life forms, plankton, fish eggs, larvae, and tiny schooling fish. Its gills are lined with gill rakers, intricate structures that trap microscopic food while letting water pass through. What looks like a beast is, in fact, a floating sieve. In the Indian Ocean, the whale shark finds a perfect sanctuary. Maldives, Mozambique, Sri Lanka, and parts of Western Australia are seasonal gathering spots for these creatures, where rich upwellings bring nutrients to the surface, and where whale sharks congregate to feed and migrate. They swim slowly, deliberately, often near the surface. Despite their mass, up to 20 tons, they do not disturb the world around them. They move like memories in the water, calm and unconcerned by our presence. Though once mysterious, tagging studies have revealed that whale sharks migrate thousands of kilometers, crossing national borders and entire ocean basins. They are citizens of the sea, and the Indian Ocean is one of their most beloved homes. But the whale shark shares this realm with countless others. The Indian Ocean's coral reefs, some of the oldest and most diverse on the planet, are an explosion of color and life. Tiny fish like anthias and clownfish dart between coral branches. Predators like groupers, moray eels, and reef sharks prowl the edges. The venomous and hypnotic lionfish, with its billowing fins, glides like a phantom among anemones and sponges. Every species here plays a role in a delicate, interconnected web, a kingdom of light and color where survival is constant, but beauty is never far away. And beneath it all, the seafloor tells its own story, with submerged mountain ranges, deep trenches, and hidden volcanoes that hint at the tectonic forces shaping the basin. But like all oceans, the Indian Ocean faces modern threats: warming waters, coral bleaching, oil spills, and plastic pollution, and yet its rhythm continues. With each season, the winds return, the currents shift, life endures. And as the Indian Ocean empties into the Southern Ocean, we descend into the next chapter of our journey, into a realm of cold, of silence, and of staggering extremes. This is where the world ends and begins again. Here, where the warmth of the Indian Ocean fades and the earth begins to narrow, a new ocean rises, one of ice, wind, and endurance. This is the Southern Ocean, also known as the Antarctic Ocean, the newest officially recognized ocean and perhaps the most untamed. Circling the frozen continent of Antarctica, the Southern Ocean stretches across 20 million square kilometers of frigid water. Its boundaries are defined not by land, but by temperature, currents, and force. It is a ring of cold that wraps around the planet's base, forming a moat of movement unlike anything else on Earth. At its heart lies Antarctica, a land buried beneath ice kilometers thick, where life has carved its niche not in defiance of the cold, but in partnership with it. But the Southern Ocean is no mere body of water. It is Earth's climate engine. Its Antarctic circumpolar current, the strongest and most consistent in the world, moves 130 million cubic meters of water per second, connecting the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans in a single, unbroken flow. This current redistributes cold water and nutrients across the globe. It helps drive global ocean circulation, fertilizes plankton blooms that sustain marine food chains, and locks away carbon deep below the waves. But its role is not only scientific, it is visceral. The winds that sweep this ocean, the infamous roaring 40s and furious 50s, are among the strongest on the planet. They push icebergs the size of cities through dark grey seas and churn waves taller than buildings. And yet, in this brutal ballet of water and air, life thrives. Beneath the frozen surface in this hostile kingdom, some of the most remarkable creatures on Earth endure. The emperor penguin, regal, resilient, and devoted. It marches across kilometers of ice in midwinter to breed in the harshest conditions known to any bird. With no nest, no shelter, it survives on huddled warmth, shared vigilance, and fierce parental instinct. The Weddell seal, with its wide eyes and whiskered face, dives beneath the sea ice, using memory and rhythm to locate breathing holes and forage in total darkness. And in the open ocean, great gatherings of krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures that drift in vast swarms. These humble beings, no bigger than a paperclip, form the very foundation of the Southern Ocean food web, feeding whales, seals, penguins, and seabirds in numbers beyond imagination. The cold here is not a barrier, it is a filter. Only the most perfectly adapted creatures remain, but they are not alone. The sky above is filled with albatross, petrels, and other seabirds who circle the frozen continent in endless flight, wings stretched wide, riding the wind that never rests. And in these remote frozen waters a giant rules, silent, immense, and eternal, the orca. Beneath the grey waters and drifting ice floes of the Southern Ocean, something powerful stirs. Sleek, precise, and aware, a black fin slices through the sea like a blade. This is the orca, often called the killer whale, but truly a master of strategy, not savagery. Orcas are the apex predators of the Southern Ocean. No creature hunts them. Few escape them. With a body stretching up to 9 meters and weighing as much as 6 tons, the orca is not just strong. It is intelligent, deeply social, and finely tuned to its environment. Here, in the coldest ocean on Earth, the orca has evolved into a perfect hunter. One that doesn't rely solely on brute force, but on teamwork, communication, and ingenuity. In pods that resemble family clans, orcas navigate the ice-strewn waters with astonishing coordination. Each pod has its own vocal dialect passed down through generations, like a cultural fingerprint they call echo, listen, using echolocation to locate prey and ice shelves alike. But it's their hunting strategies that reveal their brilliance. To catch seals resting on ice, orcas work together to create waves, swimming in synchrony toward the flow and sending surges that crack the ice or wash the seal into the water. Then, in a blur of movement, they take their prize. Some pods even specialize. One group might target penguins, another fish, others baleen whales, teaching their young through observation and repetition. They hunt not from hunger alone, but from memory and method. But for all their power, the orcas of the Southern Ocean are not alone in these icy waters. They share this world with leopard seals, sleek and serpent-like predators with jaws strong enough to crush bone, and with the ever-enduring humpback whales who migrate here to feast on krill in the brief Antarctic summer. Below the surface, life glows faintly. Deep-sea jellyfish, bioluminescent worms, and strange ghost-like ice fish that produce natural antifreeze in their blood. In the Southern Ocean, every creature is a survivor. Every heartbeat a quiet defiance of cold and emptiness, but this frozen kingdom is not timeless. The sea ice is melting faster each year. The delicate balance of cold and current that has protected this realm for millennia is beginning to unravel. And what melts in Antarctica doesn't stay in Antarctica. It raises sea levels. It disrupts global weather systems. It challenges the creatures who depend on ice for their lives. And eventually, it challenges us. The Southern Ocean is no longer just a frontier, it is a warning. And as we leave this world of cold silence and enter the final chapter of our journey, we rise to the north, where night and day trade places and another frozen ocean awaits. This is the Arctic, a mirror to the south, but with stories entirely its own. At the top of the world, where sunlight vanishes for months and silence reigns, lies a realm of paradox, frozen on the surface, yet alive beneath. This is the Arctic Ocean, Earth's smallest and shallowest ocean, yet one of its most biologically and climatically significant. Unlike the Southern Ocean, which encircles a continent, the Arctic is an ocean surrounded by land, bordered by North America, Europe, and Asia. It is a basin of water beneath a shifting skin of sea ice, fluid below, fragile above. In winter, this ocean is locked beneath sheets of ice, sometimes up to 3 meters thick. But beneath that icy crust, life persists, adapts, and even thrives. In these cold, dark depths, microscopic phytoplankton bloom beneath the ice when light returns, forming the base of a food chain that fuels the entire Arctic marine ecosystem. These invisible plants produce oxygen, absorb carbon, and feed the smallest creatures of the sea. From there, the chain rises to tiny, translucent copepods and krill, which swarm in unimaginable numbers, feeding the Arctic's rich array of marine life. Among the drifting ice floes swim the mysterious narwhals, shy, elusive whales with long, spiraled tusks that can grow up to 3 meters. These tusks are not weapons, but sensory organs, packed with nerves detecting temperature, pressure, and even salinity in the water. Close by, beluga whales roam in pods, their pale white bodies slip silently through the sea, using echolocation to navigate and hunt in complete darkness. They are social, highly vocal, and often called the canaries of the sea for their melodic calls that echo beneath the ice. In the open water and undersea slopes, Greenland sharks lurk, slow-moving ancient predators that can live for over 400 years. They move almost imperceptibly, gliding through icy blackness, feeding on fish and carrion. They are some of the longest-lived vertebrates on the planet, time travelers of the deep. Even stranger creatures dwell in the true darkness of the Arctic abyss. Here, in water just above freezing, fish with natural antifreeze proteins in their blood swim among deep-sea corals, sponges and jellyfish that glow softly in the dark. There are ghostly ctenophores, comb jellies that shimmer with iridescent light, and bizarre polychaete worms that tunnel through the cold seafloor mud. And circling above, vast flocks of Arctic seabirds dive through the icy surf, chasing fish near the surface, their movements precisely timed to the brief, rich feeding seasons. The Arctic Ocean is not empty, it is hidden. Its beauty lies not in coral reefs or tropical color, but in its quiet ingenuity, in the creatures that survive with less, and in ecosystems that flourish in the face of cold, darkness, and extreme isolation. But this balance, delicate and ancient, is now under threat. As we descend deeper into this ocean, we'll meet some of its most mysterious inhabitants and witness how even the smallest life here tells a story of transformation and resilience. In the hushed twilight beneath Arctic ice, the ocean hums with life. Strange, silent, and perfectly adapted to its frozen world. Here swim two of the most iconic and mysterious whales on Earth, the narwhal and the beluga, beings of myth and music shaped not by warmth or sunlight, but by ice, echo, and instinct. The narwhal unicorn of the sea. Long shrouded in legend, the narwhal is a creature of the north. It lives year-round in the Arctic's deep fjords and ice-covered bays, rarely seen and barely understood. Its most striking feature, a long spiral tusk extending from the upper lip of males, is in fact an elongated tooth filled with millions of nerve endings, not for fighting, but for sensing. Scientists believe this tusk can detect changes in salinity, temperature and pressure, acting like a sonar antenna, guiding the narwhal through pitch-black waters under the ice. Narwhals dive deep, some reaching depths of over 1,500 meters, staying submerged for up to 25 minutes at a time. They hunt for squid, Greenland halibut and Arctic cod, using clicks and chirps to navigate and track prey through the dark, icy sea. They travel in tight pods, communicating constantly, a quiet community moving through a harsh world with grace and purpose. The beluga, the Arctic singer, close relatives of the narwhal. Beluga whales are known for their rounded foreheads, expressive faces, and vibrant vocalizations. They are often referred to as the canaries of the sea for their wide range of sounds, whistles, chirps, squeals, and clicks, used to socialize, echolocate, and explore their environment. Belugas are highly social, forming pods of up to hundreds during migration. They molt their skin by rubbing against riverbeds or gravel in shallow estuaries, a rare behavior among whales. Unlike other whales, belugas are not bound to deep ocean channels. They venture into river mouths, coastal inlets and shallow bays, sometimes even navigating through brackish waters with astonishing flexibility. And they're incredibly agile, capable of swimming backward, turning tightly, and even nodding or tilting their heads. But as the Arctic warms and sea ice recedes earlier each year, both narwhals and belugas face new threats, from increasing ship traffic changing prey distributions and the encroachment of predators like orcas into regions once protected by thick ice. Still, these whales endure, relying on ancestral roots, sonic memory, and social bonds to navigate a changing ocean. Below them, in the quiet cold of the benthic deep, stranger beings dwell. The Greenland shark, moving at barely 1 kilometer per h, wanders the ocean floor in darkness. It may live for over 400 years, feeding on carrion and slow-moving prey, an ancient sentinel of the Arctic abyss. Nearby, ice fish with antifreeze in their blood drift past coral-covered slopes. Bioluminescent comb jellies, fragile as soap bubbles, pulse with rainbow light through black water. Even the smallest creatures, the copepods, amphipods, and ice algae, hold up this world from below. Their brief bloom in spring, when sunlight returns, sparks a cascade of feeding and migration that fuels the entire Arctic food web. The Arctic Ocean may seem cold and still, but beneath its frozen skin lies a world of song, resilience, and ancient rhythm. And now, having touched every ocean on Earth, from Pacific coral reefs to southern glaciers, we return to the surface, to reflect. Because the story of the sea is no longer just about discovery, it's about remembrance, and the choice to protect what still lives beneath the